Hey everybody, and welcome to the first recorded battle of Warhammer Total War 2. Today we have my clan Pestilence army versus a Goblin rebel army at the Battle of Aqua. Before we start, feel free to leave any suggestions in the comment section as I'm looking to grow the channel, so any suggestions is greatly appreciated. So let's get into this. As you can see, I have a rather large Skaven force. I do have a full army in reserve as well, so it's not necessarily a battle that I'm worried about, but I thought I'd just give it a go. As you can see, I run a lot of Storm Vermin, mixed with an equal number of Clan Rats. I tend to do this as I like to have the Storm Vermin as the wall for enemy troops, and then the Clan Rats as the shock troops. Sorry, not the Clan Rats, the Plague Monks as the shock troops, and then come in behind them lines and try and hit the enemy from there. I also like to run at least 3 Warp Lightning Cannons and 2 Plague Core Catapults, just for the bigger and smaller units, just so I've got that fight against monsters. And then I have the Hell Pit and the Doom Wheels as my fast moving counter-attacking forces. So let's now break this down to unit organisation. So I like to keep the Storm Vermin on one side and use that to soak up all the damage because they're the heavily armoured ones. And then I'll have the Plague Monks sat behind them ready to move in once the missile units are sort of occupied, just to get them closer without taking any damage. And then I'll use all my artillery just to either provide pressure on flanks, or in this situation with the siege, I'll hit parts of the wall that I'm not necessarily going to rush, and that saves me friendly fire, but also allows them to apply pressure onto an area where I can then move forward and occupy their forces there. My heroes in this battle aren't really going to play much of a pivotal role. Normally I'd have them with their spells, with the Warp Lightning and stuff like that, just to take down big blobs, but with the enemy forces sat on walls and with a mass amount of troops coming in as a reserve, there's no point really risking my heroes, as the actual damage they're going to do is very limited compared to the risk I'd be putting them in for. Here you go, so I have my battle line all set up, my artillery set to one side, ready to hit that right hand side should I need to. I also have my Plague Monks sat behind my Storm Vermin ready to push in. Storm Vermin are probably going to go in on the ladders, and then have the Plague Monks follow up behind once I need to. I'll place my heroes in between the middle, just for that little bit of protection, and they can offer some form of helping spells. Not that I should need it. Right, so let's start the battle and off we go. First things first, get the Storm Vermin on the ladders. And then have my artillery target the gate, just so I can move my Hell Pit and my Doom Wheels in through the middle. You have to give me a couple of times I left click instead of right click because I've been playing a different game. Been trying to get my head around it. So my main aim at the moment is just to flood the walls of the Storm Vermin, get the Clan Rats, the Plague Monks to move up, and then with the reserves coming in now, you can see I've just got a lot more foot soldiers there just to absolutely flood the field and use just mass numbers really. Normally in situations, if they had a much larger army defending, I'd probably hit with the artillery on the walls more, and I would be more concentrated on filling the numbers before I actually sent in the troops. But where I know I have the numbers advantage, there's just real no point in hanging around. The few troops that I would lose by just standing there wouldn't necessarily be worth it when I can just get on the walls and get into it quicker. Yep, so now we get the reserve forces in, and we'll just get them to hit the other side of the wall. Just make sure that they move up, and then while we're doing that, we'll also get the other side dominated. So here we go. Storm Vermin are on the walls and now pushing through, and the gates are now open. So now we find the Hell Pit and the Doom Wheels, get them selected, get them moved in. Just use them as a shock troop. But for the time being, there's no other point keeping them back. They can't get on the walls, so the gate's open. Let's just get ready to move in. I do love the animations on this. The actual graphics of the game itself is beautiful. It's just nothing better than watching 2 units fight it out, to be honest with you. I quite enjoy it. I have to remind myself that I'm actually playing a battle every now and then. So now I've got troops on the walls. I've got enough forces. What I'm going to do is try and get some of my heroes just to move a little bit closer. Try and pull some spells in on these units if I can finally click the right button. Still, I don't know if I prefer the Plague or if I prefer the Ruin spells on the Greyseers. As I run Pestilence, I try to run the Plague Priest and the Greyseer with Ruin, and that way you sort of get the best of both worlds. And I tend to find that's the best way of running it. Here we go, so we now have the Doom Wheel and the Hell Pits coming in. Doom Wheel's hitting the spiders. Don't know if that's a good matchup. Yeah, they're pushing through now. And then there's the Hell Pits in the gate. Again, keep getting distracted by looking at the other units. Should probably move my guys across the walls. And then while we're there, we'll just get that unit to hit that unit of spiders. That'll be a pretty good matchup. Get some Storm Vermin on them. Then focus in on that gate, especially while the other reserve units are now moving in onto the other side of the walls, just to cut them off. Yeah, here we've got my 2 Hell Pits fighting the enemy general. Don't know how this will work out, but let's go for it. Normally they're a lot better at taking out like bigger units. They just move in and just smash everything they can get hold of. You can see just with him on their own, they're pushing him back. Still got the artillery firing in, because at this point it's just a Skaven thing to do, to be honest with you. Right, so just move them onto there, get some fire there. Like I say, my guys are on the walls. Theirs are now pretty much trapped. I think that's the enemy general running now. Yep, so we'll use the Doom Wheels and the Hell Pits now just to clear up everything that's in the actual main courtyard now left over. As you can see, it wasn't much of a battle. I had no real concern with winning it. Just more about showing the rough battle itself for future campaigns. Oh, got a casual Greyseer just stood in the middle. Might as well, while he's there, get him calling in some warp lightning on top of there. There you go. I love watching that cinematic come in. Actually, I do easily get distracted with this game. It's such a beautiful game, just visually to watch. And victory. So yeah, that's how I like to run my Skaven armies for Clan Pestilence. I like to run a lot of Storm Vermin mixed with Clan Rats and Plague Monks, and then lots of artillery. And there we have it. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you liked the video, please give it a like, and hopefully I'll catch you on the next one.